All right, Rob. You brought this up with Will Blackman earlier, and it was about the Dallas Cowboys, and obviously they're having a disappointing season. Let's just cut to the chase. A horrible season. And Jerry Jones was on the radio, as he's always apt to be. And he actually was asked about the topic of tanking, and he didn't poo-poo it. Here's what he said. We're going to have Rob G read it.
Yeah, that's my fault for not getting the sound because I'm not a good producer. But this is what he said.
What kind of producer are you?
I know. I'm sorry, Rob. I let you down. I let America
You're
down.
an awesome producer, Rob G.
Here's what he said. He said,
that's why we're lucky there was no Inside the Parker today, so you couldn't louse that up today.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
It's almost as bad as the host. Here we go. This is what he said. He said, quote, tanking has nothing to do with the performance of a player, performance of a coach, performance of getting better, the performance of the things you do to try to win the ball game in my mind. But could you make a decision to play a younger player more, or a player you're going to be pretty firm that you're going to be going forward with in contract-wise in a different situation? And the answer is, I could see that, yeah.
Where are you at on this, Rob?
I'm against the idea of tanking. I remember, me and you had a big argument on television about the Clippers, about they had a first-round pick.
It's on Undisputed?
Yeah, about whether or not they wanted to win games or whatever. Or they were trying to hold on.
Oh, that was when Doc wasn't that when he traded Tobias Harris?
Right.
And,
they traded their best player at that point, and they at that point it looked like okay they're going to fall out of the playoffs or whatever, and the players rallied even without a star player, and they made the playoffs and whatever. But the point was, I just think it's bad for an organization to think in those terms. I'm not saying that. Sure, it's in a lost season. Should you play some of the younger guys to see what you got, Chris? Absolutely. But the whole notion that you would hold out good players and just play young players just so you can lose, I just would never be a part of that. I wouldn't want my team to be a part of it. I think you cheat the fans. I think you cheat the players who are competing and whose livelihoods and careers are there. And it's just not a place I would want to play if I was an athlete. If I really saw them playing kids who shouldn't be out there, you know what I mean, in place of guys who are better than them. So that would be my issue with it. I'm against tanking.
I certainly agree with you in that the players are going to want no part of that. And what you cannot, under any circumstances, let losing be accepted openly in your culture. And I did use the word openly on purpose. Like, you can't let the players can't have any idea that you want to lose. The coaches certainly can't have any idea that you want to lose, because if that's the case, then that's going to infect your culture going forward, even when you get good players, and it can hurt you. I do, however, think there are smart business moves that you can make where okay, we may lose. Good chance we'll lose. But I got to see what young guys are keepers. Like with Dallas right now. And you mentioned some of their players might get upset or whatever.
No, I didn't say not to play any young guys, but you can't bench good players who are playing just so that you, with the idea that we're going to lose so that we could get a chance at this player. Like that.
I
that
don't
can't
think
be accepted.
anyone on Dallas. Now, I wouldn't bench Ezekiel Elliott and play Tony Pollard in his place, like full time. There's no way I'd do that. But a lot of those guys on that team, if they get benched, to me, they can't say a word. These veterans on the Cowboys, I mean, obviously they've shipped some of them out already, but they've had their chance. You say that all the time, Rob. They were picked by many to make the Super Bowl. And this is what they come out and do. To me, they can't say a word. If Mike Nolan or if Mike McCarthy came out and said, you know what, you're benched. We're going to see what this young rookie can do. To me, they can't say nothing because you had your chance and you've been horrible. And so I am not against playing young guys to see what they can do.
That's different. Are you
for tanking?
Are you for tanking, trying to lose so that you get a better
never
pick.
trying to lose, but
Well,
playing young guys to see what they do and knowing we may lose.
There's a
I'm
difference
fine with
between
that.
two, but I'm asking you like the premise, or when people say tanking, that means we're trying.
There's a lot of different
We're trying
things
to
they might
lose.
mean.
We're trying to lose is what I'm asking you. Would you be cool with the franchise trying to lose to get a better draft pick?
What do you mean
not
trying
playing,
to lose?
Like
playing young. Let me ask you, playing
like
young
wholesale
players
changes,
that you know
yeah.
aren't going to
Ezekiel
win?
Elliott, no, you could sit down for the rest of the year. Not because that would be
not that.
Why?
Not that.
Because if you're
Because
trying to see if Tony Pollard could play.
First of all, I've paid him. I know what Tony Pollard is. We've seen enough of Tony Pollard.
How about another
I'm
guy?
talking about other types, and I'm not talking about Ezekiel. I said that from the get-go. But I'll give you an example. I'm not against, if you're asking me, am I against playing young players? Say the veteran, he might be a little bit better. Not a star. I never would be for benching stars. Benching them. Like in the case, like you said, Ezekiel Elliott or Amari Cooper.
Right.
Or,
Like you put in the
Michael
third
Gallup.
string
They're not
receiver
stars,
and go,
but no.
all
I
right,
wouldn't.
right. Okay.
I would,
okay.
but see, but other types of players, other positions, yeah. If you're not playing well, and I'm not sure if you're a part of our future anyway, or I may be sure you're not a part of our future, then I want to see what the young kid can do. And I understand that might cost us some games, but in that, I would be willing to do that. I'll give you a prime example. San Antonio. We know they have had, they've been we've argued over whether or not it was a dynasty, but they had a great run. 5 championships, 20 straight years making the playoffs, maybe 21, whatever it was, 22, all because of Tim Duncan. The year before Tim Duncan, and you know this, Rob, as well as anyone, they were good in the 90s. I mean, the Spurs have been a pretty good franchise even before Tim Duncan. They had David Robinson. They had some other good players. Robinson gets hurt, and then the next year they sit him out the entire year. Now, he could have come back at some point in that year, but they kept him out. And lo and behold, they get the number 1 pick.
Yeah, but it wasn't automatic because Boston could have
it's never automatic.
Right.
Nothing's automatic.
If I remember
but I'm
that
saying
year, right?
that changed their franchise's history, and I think that was the right move. So, it's never automatic. I mean, in the NFL, I guess it is. You get the first pick. But you just can't let losing totally infiltrate your culture, and everybody knows you're trying to lose. But playing young guys, playing guys that might not win, but you got to see what they look like. Yeah, I'm definitely fine with that. And even if I know it means we're going to lose, I'll play these guys because I have to see what they're going to be like in the future. Like it's similar, Rob, to the Miami thing. Maybe they would, I don't know, but maybe they'd be a little better with Ryan Fitzpatrick as quarterback. That's what a lot of people seem to be saying. But I need to find out what Tua is because, heck, what if I can draft Trevor Lawrence or what if I can draft Justin Fields? I'm willing to go that route and say we're playing Tua. And if we lose a few games,
I don't look
I'm
at
fine with that.
Fitzpatrick. I don't look at the same way of tanking in that situation because we already know what Fitzpatrick is. He's a journeyman who's been on 8 teams, who always turns into a pumpkin after 4 or 5 weeks or whatever it is. So I don't look at that as them trying to tank by putting in Tua. He was drafted in the first round. He's a star quarterback. Guys don't sit on the bench any longer. The only reason he didn't start from day one, he was coming off an injury. Most guys are thrown in there and they play. So I just look at Miami differently.
No, I hear that, and that's fine. But you still may not be putting the guy who right now is the best quarterback on the field. You may not be doing that. Now, I agree with you. I would go with, he's a star in college. That don't mean nothing.
Yeah,
he might not be a
that's
star
why
in the
he was
pros.
a first-round pick. I'm just saying, it ain't like you're putting in the third-string quarterback, instead of Fitzpatrick. That would be
But he might
tanking.
not be ready.
That would be tanking.
I'm just, the reports, I'm just saying, from what the reports are saying, part of this was to see what he can do. Because you might be able to draft another quarterback at the top of the draft, and you want to see if Tua's your guy. I'm fine with that. And so I think there's a way, this is all about building up your organization. And you mentioned the Miami Dolphins know what Fitzpatrick is. Yeah, and they know and the Dallas Cowboys know what kind of season they're about to have. And so if it meant benching some of these guys on the defensive end who aren't playing well and going with some of the young guys that maybe will be a part of our future, I'm fine with that. I got no problem with that. So it's you just though can't let it infiltrate your culture, and that's where the fine line is in tanking.